Today we're going to be talking about one specific problem that some rich people have. A lot of rich people have a lot of problems, and dealing with them is something that many poor people don't even realize because they're unaware of these problems. And um, I think it's very important even if you're poor because it can help you with understanding life, with understanding what truly matters, and maybe working on your own money and your own purpose in life. So, without further ado, let's get started on this one concept. What is it? I'll give you a example to illustrate this concept first, then I'll explain it. Investment bankers. So not every single investment banker is like this, but a lot have been and a lot are. So basically, they hate their job, but they are making an exceptional amount of money, a few $100,000 per year. Now, what's the problem here? The thing is, first off, they absolutely hate their job and they would trade their job for anything else if it made the same amount of money. But that's not the case. So they are pretty much living in a type of hell, living in a type of just like hate, but they're doing it for money. So it's very materialistically based and they're just hating their lives. And on top of that, they are putting in 80, 90 hours per week, pretty much living their entire life at their job and almost draining their life force and like putting in every effort of energy at their job because oftentimes their job entails that, and then on top of that they want to push it a little further. So there's a general idea. Again, this is not every investment banker, but there are definitely cases like this in the past. Read the book Fiasco. It's a great book. It might turn your stomach. Anyhow, so this is the case, and again, the book Fiasco was written in the 1980s, so in a lot of ways it's probably worse now. Anyhow, the point of this whole story and example is to illustrate this concept, this one concept out of the many that rich people have to face. Not all of them, but it is the fear of missing out on money they could have made. And so this is one type of rat race that people can fall into. And I do think that loving your job and being very passionate about your job is one way of negating this to a certain extent. Having said that, it's not a full negation because if you do not understand that, okay, there are other things of value, family, friends, health, happiness, rest, that are important in a full life, then you can still end up devoting too much to your job and destroying a lot of other things. There's this saying, think of all the big things in your life, family, friends, your work as balls. But realize that if you drop some of those balls, family and friends, just once, they shatter and cannot be recovered. Whereas if you drop the ball of work, that can always be recovered. It's not the best saying in the world because I do think that, it depends how hard you drop the ball with family. But again, I think it's a generally good life lesson quote. Anyhow, the point being, back to the point, is that with this whole illustration of this investment banker concept, you have to realize that if you ever do get to the point where, even if you're not making hundreds of thousands, but let's say you're just making what you make now as a poor person, realize that this rat race is not something that you want to get raveled up in because, again, it's almost like pushing for something that you don't even need. And it's a type of rat race where you don't want to miss out, and so you think to yourself, oh, I'll do this for another year or another week or another month, and it turns into a year. And it's this whole thing of constantly placing yourself into an extreme level of misery for some future payoff. Oh, I can't miss out on the money I'm making now. And this can end up going for years at the cost of your health, at the cost of a lot of missed opportunities in terms of your youth and a lot of other things. So that's all we want to say in a nutshell. I don't want to belabor the point. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.